Senate okays death penalty for drug traffickers as House of Representatives order CBN to suspend cybersecurity levy. Court grants former Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika, daughter, others 100 million naira bail each. Protesters storm police headquarters, demand release of detained journalists. And on the foreign scene, hope faced for 44 trapped in collapsed South African building. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Shegun Ojumu. The Senate has approved the death sentence as a penalty for drug traffickers in Nigeria. This follows the passage for third reading, the 2024 NDLEA Act Amendment Bill. The proposal was adopted on Thursday when the Senate dissolved into a committee of the whole for a clause-by-clause consideration of the report of Senator Tahir Mongono, the chairman of the Committees on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters and Drugs and Narcotics. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA Act Amendment Bill 2024. In a review of the penalty provisions of the amendment bill towards strengthening the operations of the agency, a proposed amendment to award a death sentence to drug traffickers rather than just a life sentence was raised by the Senate Chief Whip and Peter Onwebonyi under Clause 11. When the matter was put to a voice vote, it appeared the nays had it. However, when the question was put on a second vote, the Deputy Senate President ruled in favor of the ayes. A slight uproar ensued as some lawmakers were displeased. Senator Adams Oshiomhole expressed his displeasure over what he considered a hasty consideration and passage of the amended clause. The Deputy Senate President rejected an objection by Senator Oshiomhole to reverse the ruling, insisting that it came late, which is against the rules. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has directed the Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN, to halt the proposed implementation of the cyber crimes levy of 0.5% imposed on electronic transactions by bank customers. Consequently, the House directed the CBN to withdraw the ambiguous circular in the media space and issue an unequivocal circular in line with the letters and spirit of the Cyber Crimes Amendment Act 2024. The Green Chamber also mandated its committee on banking regulations and banking and other ancillary institutions to guide the CBN properly. This followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by the House Minority Leader, Kingsley Chinda, and 359 others. Moving the motion, Mr. Chinda said the CBN through a circular to all commercial, merchants, non-interest and payment service banks, other financial institutions, mobile money operators and payment service providers dated 6th of May 2024 informed Nigerians of a proposed 0.5 levy on electronic transactions in line with Section 444, subsection 2A of the Cyber Crimes Amendment Act 2024. He argued that unless immediate pragmatic steps are taken to halt the proposed action of the CBN, the Cybercrime Act shall be implemented in error at a time when Nigerians are experiencing the aftermath of multiple removal of subsidies from petroleum, electricity, and others amid the rise in inflation. A federal high court in Abuja has granted 100 million naira bail each to a former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, his daughter, and 2 others. They are being tried over an alleged 2.7 billion naira fraud. According to the court, they are also to provide 2 sureties who must have landed properties in Abuja. The sureties, the court said, must also be responsible citizens. The sureties must depose to an affidavit of means. The court also restricted the defendants from traveling abroad without its permission. Justice Orji ordered that the defendants should be remanded in prison custody if they fail to meet their bail conditions.
One of the 2 cases filed against the former minister. So the first one is taken before his lordship here. So we are going to contend for the other one in another date. So, but the bail is at the discretion of the court. So it's for the court to decide whether it is adequate or not. So a counsel in his own right cannot criticize the judge whether the conditions are liberal or high or low. But I think it is fair.
Now, Justice Abdullahi Liman of the Federal High Court, Kano, has fixed May 28th for hearing in the substantive application filed by the APC National Chairman, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, challenging his suspension from the party by faction of ward executives led by one Basiru Isa. Mr. Ganduje was first suspended by APC Ganduje ward executives led by one Haladu Gwanjo on April the 15th. Another faction emerged and also announced the suspension of Ganduje on April the 20th. The secretary of the party in Kano, Zakari Sarana, said the suspension by the faction was another case of impersonation. Ganduje is seeking a declaration that his suspension from the party without giving him opportunity to defend himself amounts to violation of his fundamental rights to fair hearing. He is also seeking a declaration that his suspension by the faction was unlawful, null and void. Counsel for the embattled APC chairman Hadiza Nasir Ahmed applied for service on the respondents by substituted means, which the court granted. Now, despite impeachment threats hanging on his neck, the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has inspected the Rivers State House of Assembly official residential quarters located at the GRA Phase 1, part of Port Harcourt. Fubara said his visit is to undertake an on-the-spot assessment of the condition of the structures for a possible rehabilitation work to restore its status and make it livable. The governor stated this after he inspected the 15.24 kilometers long Emuhwa Abalama to Tema Junction dual carriage road project on Thursday. The inspection of the facility is coming few days after both APC in the state and local government area chairmen called on the assembly to commence impeachment proceedings on the governor. The governor, who took a walk around the facility, said he decided to visit the place to ascertain what needs to be done to make the quarters more conducive for lawmakers. Back here in Abuja, civil society organizations nationwide are expressing alarm over the increasing assault on press freedom following the arrest of journalist Daniel Ojukwu on May the 1st. Ojukwu, a journalist with the Foundation for Investigative Journalism, was detained by Nigerian police after reporting on alleged financial mismanagement of over 147 million naira by a senior government official. These actions, according to civil societies, violate Section 34, 35, and 41 of the Nigerian Constitution, which guarantee freedom of expression, assembly, and movement. Dorcas Yakubu reports.
This protest is to drive home a simple message to the powers that be. Enough is enough. When I remember that day, water on my way behind you. The detention of Daniel Ojukwu has incited outrage among civil society groups, journalists, and the Nigerian populace who deem it unlawful and a violation of press freedom.
It is a very restrictive situation in Nigeria. There is no freedom of the press. The press is being choked, and daily we see it. We see that the press is being strangulated.
What Daniel Ojukwu has done is to uncover corruption under the office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on the SDGs, Mrs. Adejoke Orelokwe Adefudiri. And uncovering that corruption that happened over 147 or 141 million naira that was spent on building that was routed through a school.
His fundamental human rights is being clamped on, stifling the freedom of expression, and also troubling for journalists across Nigeria.
The Commissioner of Police of the FCT, CP Bennett Igwe, assured Nigerians that the detained journalists will be released soon.
This one, we have looked into the matter. There's no need of this protest. The force management team has taken a lot of things into consideration to release him. We and the press are friends. We are partners in progress.
The protesters called on government for the immediate release of the detained journalists.
It is appropriate for the FCID to release him Not only, or if they feel that they don't want to release him, that he has committed a crime, they should charge him to court.
So we are asking today that Daniel should be released immediately, and the proper procedure as enshrined in sections 30 and 31 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which states that a suspect should not be held for more than 24 hours.
This is what we are here for, to see that Ojukwu, who is in detention for over 8 days, moved from Lagos to Abuja. We want to see that he is released from detention.
And I've been involved in the last few days trying to get him bailed. The police is giving conditions, bail conditions, as if Daniel Ojukwu committed murder. Go and bring 2 directors in the Federal Civil Service with landed property. How can you be a director in the Federal Civil Service? I have landed property in Abuja if you are not corrupt.
The Nigerian Constitution safeguards freedom of expression and opinion, yet various laws, including those on cybercrime, anti-terrorism and state secrets, as well as defamation laws, impede journalists' work. Consequently, journalists have been arrested over the years. Despite celebrating World Press Freedom Day on May 3rd, 2024, dedicated to the significance of journalism and freedom of expression amid the global environmental crisis, the question persists: is there genuine press freedom in Nigeria? Dorcas Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Let's take you to Lagos now, where there was heavy traffic on Wednesday at the Ikeja Computer Village as members of the Lagos State Water Corporation staged a peaceful protest over the alleged dismissal of 405 permanent staff of the corporation without due process. Victoria Tokolo has more.
Carrying placards with various inscriptions, they demanded justice for their colleagues whom they said were illegally dismissed. The Lagos Neighborhood Safety Corps, LNSC, Nigerian Police, and LASMA were all present to maintain order and ensure the peaceful conduct of the protesters.
We're able to cushion the effect of the economic crisis we have witnessed. It's the same. Now you are sacking. It is abnormal. It is sad. We will not allow it. We will not allow it. We will not allow it because absence of war again. It's not a letter of glory. We have said clearly that this government, when you are dialoguing with them, it seems that they don't care.
I'm here to test against an injustice meted out on the workers of the Lagos Water Corporation. About 405 workers of Lagos Water Corporation were disengaged from their work on April 15th this year, and without following the due process of disengagement. We have followed the due process of disengagement by Lagos State government and Water Corporation management. Man has been that the workers that are illegally disengaged should be reinstated without any condition.
Other members of the union also voiced their displeasure with the dismissal of their colleagues.
Part of the reason these workers have been legally disengaged is because of their historical opposition to the plan of the Lagos State government and the series of management of the Lagos Water Corporation to loot the sector. If you look at major water infrastructure across Lagos State today, you are going to see that many of these infrastructures are in decrepit conditions. Many of them have been made, beyond productive because of regular looting of this equipment.
We're telling the government that it is not ideal and it is not lawful for them doing such thing. Because even if they do anything, the union is supposed to be informed. And then when they inform the union, they will sit with the unionists and make a deliberation on what to do. Not that they will just lay them off with the situation of the country. Now, I don't think the governments are doing the right thing.
The union maintains that the staff whom the government claims to have dismissed are still in service and remain integral to its operations. They urge Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to intervene.
As part of activities commemorating this year's World Health Day, medical practitioners in Oyo State have been urged to engage in routine medical checkups even as they attend to their patients. Commissioner for Health, Oluwaseremi Ajetumobi, gave this advice in Ibadan shortly after a walk to mark the day. Here's the report.
There is no available data on the number of medical workers in Nigeria who have lost their lives in the course of carrying out their duties, but health workers here are being urged to take care of their health while they attend to their patients. The admonition was issued by the Commissioner for Health in Osun State during a walk in commemoration of this year's World Health Day in Ibadan. Officials moved from different offices to advise workers on the need to checkmate untimely deaths within the state's workforce.
Events are happening that have been tampering with humanity is in question.
The walk culminated in this health talk session where free medical checks were offered to medical practitioners, journalists and other attendees at the event.
It's been a great pillar of support to your state.
The gathering brought together specialists in various medical fields such as malaria treatment, blood sugar diagnosis, HIV/AIDS treatment, tuberculosis care, blood pressure analysis, immunization and other aspects of medicine.
Yes, healthy snacking. And when I talk of healthy snacking, I mean more of fruits that are devoid of heavy calories, that are not, I'm not talking of pastries, I'm not talking of eatery kind of food. I hope today we'll have to practice what we preach by giving us fruit.
Life expectancy has also increased. Under 5 children dying because of vaccine preventable diseases, malaria, and other childhood illnesses has also significantly reduced where people are accessing these services provided by the government. The number of people living with new HIV infections and AIDS-related death has also greatly decreased.
Commissioner for Health urged health workers to improve their professional training and abide by work ethics in the line of duty.
It is imperative that we adopt a comprehensive approach to health that acknowledges the interdependence of physical, mental, and social well-being. This entails investing in comprehensive health systems that prioritize primary health care, mental health services, and preventive interventions, while also addressing the social determinants of health, such as poverty, housing, and even education.
The general consensus here is for medical practitioners to place more premium on their health status, be familiar with early warning signs in order to drastically reduce deaths among health workers.
This is the news update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. University of Jos students decry negative impact of fuel scarcity on academic activities. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's remind you of our top story, shall we? Senate okays death penalty for drug traffickers as House of Representatives orders CBN to suspend cybersecurity levy. Court grants former Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika, daughter, others 100 million naira bail each. Zainab Oladibolu has been described as a brilliant student who was always glued to her books in school and at home. Her teachers made this observation while expressing their joy over her recent academic achievement. The 15-year-old student has scored one of the best results in the 2024 JAMB examination in Kaduna, a feat that has earned her widespread recognition. Trust TV's Bello Musa, who visited Zainab at her school, completes the report.
Zainab Olagdibolu, a student of Dialogue Academy, scored 362 marks in her JAMB result, which is one of the best results in Kaduna. Olagdibolu says her family were excited when she broke the news to her parents.
JAMB came about and alhamdulillah, I was very surprised. I knew I did well, but I didn't expect to get that high of a score. I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I got 362. I was dazed for like a week. Up to now, it hasn't still registered in my brain that I actually got that high score. And I have no one else to thank than the school, my parents, and Allah. Because I prayed throughout the whole Ramadan. I kept on praying, Ya Allah, give me a high score in JAM, give me straight A's in WAEC and NECO. That was my tahajjud, that was my sujood, everything.
As one of the brilliant SS3 students in the school, Zainab says nothing good comes easy.
No shortcut to success. You always have to work hard, you have to study, you have to read. You can even have sleepless nights, because I remember the night before JAM, I was up till around 3. I was revising chemistry, reading physics, going through my formulas in math. It was very hectic. I was like, oh my God, I have JAM tomorrow, I have to read, I have to study. So there was no sleeping for me. I didn't sleep until around 3. Then I woke up around 9. As I woke up around 9, I continued revising because I didn't want to miss anything out. I had to look through everything, make sure that there was nothing I didn't understand.
The teachers of the school say they were not surprised of Zainab's performance in JAM, considering her hard work and the dedication of the teachers.
I would say, first of all, that we are very happy with the results, but it is not unexpected, because he who works hard expects to get a good result. And alhamdulillah, we have put in a lot of effort. We're an 11-year-old school, and if you look at our results, it has been consistent with progress, alhamdulillah. Yes, this will enhance the overall performance of education, because JAM has become like a litmus test for academics in the country, especially for secondary school students. And for us, we take pride in our JAM results, because it is one of the institutions that so far we can say produces credible results.
I would say that, alhamdulillah, our feats would first attribute it to Allah for granting us the ability to run through this entire exercise successfully.
Zainab's ambition is to study cybersecurity in the higher institutions and is optimistic that the JAM result will give her easy entrance into the university. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Fantastic result by Zainab there. Now, students of the University of Jos have decried the negative impact of the current petrol scarcity across the country. According to the students, the situation has completely affected their transportation budget as well as academic activities. Ado Musa completes the report.
This scenario typifies how students struggle to arrive at the university for lectures or take commercial tricycles to return home after days of academic activities. But the recent fuel scarcity being experienced in different parts of the country is not only impacting on business activities, it also affecting students who say the situation is impacting on their academic schedule.
So also like in the hike up price, yeah, and actually now I'm even late for lecture inside school, and like you can see the Okada man, we are looking for change up to now. Almost this is 1:30 and my class is almost 1 o'clock. So I don't know. I'm really stranded, but
pay money. Like for my area, I used to pay when I was 100 level. I pay 100 naira to school. It gradually increased to 150 to 200. Now 300 from this area to pitch side. 300. You have to beg keke. Sometimes you have 8 o'clock lecture. You have to come on by 6 to have to start begging keke for 1 hour so you can enter for 200 or 250. If not, if you come late, you'll be left with no option than to enter for 300 naira. And almost every day 300 times 6 days.
It affects a number of things like my regularity in lectures, because it's when I have fuel to come for lectures that I'll be coming for lectures. I stay as far as Lucas. It's from there that I come here. And then using the commercial is not advisable since I have bike. So for that, once there's only but a lectures and then we feel like the lectures can be online, we'll just agitate that let the lectures be online instead of us coming to the classroom to come and do the lectures. But for like quantitative courses, we have no choice than to make it to the classroom in order that we will learn. So it has affected our regularity in attending lectures.
Really affecting all of us, most of us in the school, because now transport from my house to the school has like almost doubled. Also almost everything in the school now is expensive, from the biro to the books and everything. Now they are more expensive, and it's affecting us because most of us, we are dependent on people at home. So for us it's not really easy.
The students, however, call on the government to address the problem.
Also just let the government see how they could better subsidize things for us in the country so that we have a better study habits and then other things as well.
But this thing is really affecting us. If the government can come to our aid, seriously, as students will really appreciate it. The small the school is doing by all those buses here, because if you observe now, the bus is getting extra full because everybody wants to follow the bus because of the high cost of transport.
Most of the students told Trust TV that the situation is forcing them to skip classes as a result of the strain on their lean resources. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And away from Nigeria, relatives of 44 construction workers trapped under a collapsed building in the South African city of George faced a fourth day of anguished waiting on Thursday as heavy machinery worked at the site in a race against time to find any survivors. Of the 81 people who were on site when the five-story building collapsed on Monday, 8 have been confirmed dead and 29 alive, and 16 of them in critical condition. According to the latest figures from the George municipality, the identities of the missing have not been made public, but a list of names was circulating among groups of relatives who have congregated at the site since Monday, desperate for news of their loved ones. The drama has prompted an outpouring of solidarity in George, with local companies providing equipment and volunteers setting up coffee stalls and for waiting relatives and rescue workers. Rescue teams have been hearing trapped survivors, a disaster management official said on Tuesday, but there have been no further updates about that since then. While the cause of the collapse is yet to be established, President Cyril Ramaphosa has called for an investigation into the incident. In sports now, Nigeria's Flamingos on Thursday departed Abuja for Bamako, Mali, ahead of their 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifying fixture against Burkina Faso. The third-round first leg clash is slated for Saturday. The reverse fixture will be held a week later at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja. The only time the Nigerian girls have failed to appear in the FIFA Under-17 World Cup since it was launched in New Zealand in 2008 was in Uruguay 2018. The Dominican Republic will host the competition later in the year. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Remember to join us or to follow us across our social media platforms. Join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Shegun Ojumu. Many thanks for watching. Bye-bye.